I just wanted to kind of show you around, show you what I'm working with. I've got a big laser engraver, and I do lots of things with it. So let me flip the camera around and show that to you. So this is the laser engraver. It's not on yet. It has a 35-inch bed in here, which is kind of a mess right now. I need to clean it up, but it's a 35-inch bed from side to side. That's how much room I have from side to side. Now from front to back, I can pretty much go as long as I want, up to about 2 inches in depth, because there is a pass-through if you look way back there. Let's actually flip this on real quick so we get some lights. But way back there in the back, you can see that's the pass-through port. It gives me about 2 inches of clearance. This panel here in the front removes, which allows me to use that pass-through port. There's another panel in the back that has to be removed as well. That's there for safety. This laser is completely invisible, even though you will see there's a red dot laser that's set up with a beam combiner in the back there that I can show you. But there's the red dot laser right there. That's not the laser you need to worry about, though. The one you need to worry about is the invisible one, the UV laser that's produced by the laser tube. Let's go ahead and take a look at the laser tube. As we go past here, we'll take a look at the very messy chiller. Move to the back here. This big blue door on the back is, oh, I don't have it locked, is where the laser tube is located. That is the tube. This is a 100-watt CO2 laser tube. Now over here at the other end, you will see the red dot laser. That's this laser module right here. That's the red dot laser module. Now that shoots straight ahead that way. There's a mirror here, but it's only a partial mirror because it has to allow the CO2 laser to come through that straight through. So the red dot laser comes through, and you can see on the back there, there's a dot, and that's because it's a partial mirror. So it allows, I don't know how much from one side to the other is going to be different, but it allows some of the light through and bounces the rest down. There's a mirror here. That's mirror number 3 or mirror number 1, depending on how you go. I call it the third mirror because it's the last one that I clean, because it usually stays the cleanest. But that's the mirror. You can see the red dot on it. And then from there, there's a hole in the frame. Now, as we move around to the side here, I can show you the path of the beam. If we open up this side panel, we can see the side of the gantry. Now, that beam comes through that hole there, straight through here, hits yet another mirror, the mirror's facing the other way, and then shoots that to the last mirror, the number 1 mirror. So this is the number 2, that's the number 1. Again, that's just the way I order them, because that's the order in which I clean them based on how dirty they get. So that's the laser in a nutshell. I don't mind my messiness. We're going to get cleaned up. I'm just a little crowded at the moment, but we're going to get it all cleaned up and looking nice. Now, when we turn the laser tube on, that whole time it was turned off, but if I turn it on, you're going to hear the chiller beep and come to life. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly set up a file in Lightburn. That's the software that we use to send to this particular laser. And lots of other ones. Some of the higher end lasers, they start to get into their own software, proprietary software and things. On this laser, this is still a high end laser. It's just not a US made or Canadian made laser. This is made in China, but it's imported by a company here in the US, Thunder Laser USA, and sent out from there. So close that down. Let's go over here real quick I'm one of these people that absolutely hates it when people show you video of a screen and from their phone. I hate that. So I'm going to point this at me. I don't know if I'm much more interesting than the screen, but there we go. Try to get that there. Ah, shoot. Does not want to prop up the way I want to do it. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick file here. I think what we're going to do is I have these small ovals of wood. They come packaged like this. I just get these from like Hobby Lobby. I buy them on sale, so I usually get them for like half of that, $2.99. So I get them for like $1.50. They're really thin and easy to engrave and burn on, and they make kind of a neat little wall art. So what I do usually is I will take my calipers and we'll measure out, you know, the width and the height of this oval. So we're looking at like 77 mil by, you don't have to be exact, but you want to be pretty close. 111 mil. And then on screen, what you can't see is, why did that fall? I had it perfect. Alright, so I'm going to make a little oval on screen. I'm going to size it. Son of a gun. Let's see if I can do this. I have a Z fold. I'm trying to see if I can open the fold a little bit and use that to prop it up. That will probably work way better. Alright, so I'm going to adjust its size, make it 77 by 111. 111. Okay, so I've got that on screen. Now I'm going to, that's just so I can have the general size of this oval as a guide so that whatever I put on there is going to fit, you know, and it helps me line things up. I don't have a camera system on this laser. That's one of the things that I need to get. The light burn cameras are not the most expensive thing in the world, but they're, you know, 140 bucks, and I've already spent 12 grand on a laser. It doesn't seem like much, but I just don't have it right now, so we'll get to it when we get to it. Okay, now what we're going to do is let's take a little, I don't know, we just passed Halloween, so we'll stay away from that stuff. Let's do like a Warhammer Chaos Star in the middle of this thing here. You'll see what that looks like here in a little bit once I get you over to the laser again. So let me shrink this down to make it fit in our oval. Almost. So you go a little bit smaller. That's what she said. Okay, now I'm going to select that. I'm going to send it over to the laser. I'm going to tell it I want it to start in the middle of the art, or the middle of our oval, as a way for me to line it up, right? So, and I'm just going to eyeball it. This isn't exact. It's not that big a deal. I'm going to send this. I'm going to name it Chaos Star, which ends up being Chaos Sta because I ran out of letters. For some reason, the Ruida controllers only let you send like 8 characters. It's kind of like, reminds me of old, like, I don't know, Unix or Linux systems or something like that. All right, so we open this back up. Now, we're going to lay our material down. And what we're going to do is I need to focus this laser. So I am going to, let's see. me a second here. Check that's all the way up. Now, what I'm going to do is over here on the controller, we go into the menu, we go up here to autofocus, and then we hit the enter key. That's going to move the bed up. You'll see along the side here, what was that? Something flipped. Ah, it was my ruler. It was a little too far, too close to the edge. Anyhow, you'll see along the side here what we've got are just a real simple infrared switch, very much like what you have in your garage, that keeps you from getting your head chopped off if you're dumb and try to run underneath the garage door as it's closing. Alright, so now I have that pretty well lined up in the center there. We are focused. Now we can check the focus if I take my acrylic block here. This thing is the right size, 6mm. And we can see that when I slide that under there, that it just barely fits. So that's perfect. That's exactly the correct focus that we want with this lens. All right. Now, what we do over here, we'll go back over here to the controller. We're going to hit File. Now, the very last thing that we sent shows up as the first thing on our list. Actually, it's the last thing on the list, but it moves our cursor to that item, which is right above the first thing on the list, because this list is, it'll just go in a loop if you cycle through them. If I was to go all the way down, it would just cycle through until we got back to here. Now, from here, we can hit Enter. That's going to bring it up. It's going to look a little funny. Oh, see that? 340% power on that would eat right through that wood. That's way too much power and it's way too slow. So let's go back here real quick. I'm just going to very quickly change this. We're going to go Library. We're going to go to our ply. No thickness, engrave, assign that to the layer, back to laser, hit send again, hit OK. It's going to want to overwrite. We say yes, it's sent. We go back. It's that quick, no big deal. Now, File, enter on that one again, and now 500 speed, 20% power. Okay, that's exactly what we want for this wood. It's pretty much the setting for almost every engraving that you're going to do with this type of laser, at least a 100-watt laser, 500 millimeters a second, and 20% speed or 20% power is going to engrave most things pretty well. Now we're going to go ahead and close the lid because this will not run with the lid open. I'm going to set you up on here, put that block of acrylic underneath you to give you a bit of an angle in to be able to see what's happening. And we'll move you right about there. There's a lot of little scratches on this glass, but that's why it looks a little foggy. But anyhow, okay, now we hit Origin because that's where the laser is. We want to make sure that that's where the laser starts from. Remember I said I wanted it to start in the middle of the oval. Now, I'm going to hit Frame. That looks pretty good. Now, if you were paying close attention, you'd notice that when that frame moved, in fact, I can slow it way down so you can see it. It's going to go to the edge of where the design would be if the design was a perfect square, but it's not. So watch. So it looks like it would go off, but you have to know your design too. That's one of the reasons why I like to use the template is that way I know it's going to fit in the middle. Now, we go ahead and hit start. This is not going to take very long, but it is going to be loud, at least for me. I don't know how much you'll pick up, but we'll see. Here we go. Oh, pause that for a second. Forgot to do something over here real quick. What I'm doing in just a second when this burn is over. Alright. Restart that. Here we go. You'll notice that the smoke is being sucked down through the honeycomb grate that's underneath the plywood, and that's because that's the loud fan noise is an exhaust fan that's sucking that out and blowing it out a hole that I have in a window in my garage here. So we are about 60% done. We're a minute and a half into the actual burn time, not including the time that I paused it to fix my exhaust problem. I'll explain that better when it's a little quieter and I can make sure that I know you can hear me. It's an interesting problem, I think. Almost done. Bang. Alright. Just the last bit now of the top of the star. Boom. Done. You may have seen the hint of green light come over. That's because there is a safety warning light. When the red is on, then you know this is doing stuff. When it's green, it's safe to open. All right, check this out. Pretty good. You'll see it's got some burn marks around. That's just residue. Comes off super easy. There goes the exhaust fan being shut off. Now, let me just quickly explain what happened. The exhaust fan goes directly to the outside. If you look right there, I've got two hoses. One, the gray one on my left, that one, is the one for the laser. The black one on the right there, that one is for my heater / AC. This is important because I'm in a garage and I'm in Nebraska, where it does get fairly cold in the winter. In fact, we're starting to hit freezing temps now. So what I do, because that is just direct to outside, what I do is I disconnect the hose from the back of the laser, and I shove some plastic in the end of it, like plastic bag, and that keeps the cold air from coming in and freezing my tube. The tube is water cooled, So if it was to get freezing temperatures, you would break that tube, and that's about a $900 mistake. So I do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, what I had to do real quickly was I had to run back there, pull the plastic out, and plug the hose back in the back of the laser in order to exhaust the fumes from the burn here. Now, how do we clean that up? Really simply, every laser engraver knows this of right here. LA's totally awesome. I don't know why, but it is. It is totally awesome. Watch. If I just spray this on there, I don't know if you can see that, but it's already lifting that stain off of there. Give me 1 second. Set you down for a second while I get some paper towels. And we're just going to wipe this off very quickly. There we go. All right. Oh, flip that back. Okay. Now, there's still a little bit there. I could spend some more time on it. You can see how much. All I did was spray it on and wipe it off. I didn't scrub it at all. If this was a piece for a customer, I might even sand it to remove some of that. Or better yet, if it was for a customer, I'd probably mask it first, the whole surface of whatever I'm engraving, and then engrave right through the masking. You don't have to add any more power or slow the machine down at all. It doesn't really change the settings. And so you can do that. And then when you remove the masking, it's fairly easy to do with some duct tape. You just stick it on there and pull it all off at once. You know, then you don't have any of that charring at all. So that's the easiest way to do it. Again, if it was for a customer, that's exactly what I do. Well, it has been great chatting with everyone that hopefully has time to come and see this video. I'm going to be trying to put videos out just as often as I possibly can, possibly even daily. Now, if you've got any ideas, what do you want to see engraved? What material do you want to see engraved? What images do you want to see engraved? I've got a rotary. We can do cups. We can do glass. We can do acrylic. The only thing I can't do is metal. And I can't do vinyls. So no records, no PVC, no vinyl stickers, and no metal. The metal thing is a little different because I can buy stuff called Ceramark. It's very expensive at like $60 for a standard size spray can like you'd get for spray paint. And it's basically aerosolized ceramic dust that you put on there. It sticks to the metal, and then when you laser it, it permanently bonds to the metal. So, with all that being said, if you have ideas, I want to hear them. I'm always looking for better ideas. What should I do with this thing? I bought it. I'm making stuff. I'm selling stuff. I'm having a blast, but I'm always looking for better ideas of what to engrave and how to engrave it. So, hit me up. Let's do this. Peace.